while you were minister, before you were put on leave, that the political task team is still in existence and still operates in the way they have since 2018.
Well, as you say, I'm on leave, so I can't talk on behalf of what is happening or on what is happening.
But you also happen to be a citizen. You watch the news, you read the papers. The task team is still in existence. You know that, whether you're on leave or not.
No, I would repeat that I'm on leave, so I can't really say this is what is happening, this is what is not happening. There is a minister there who is acting, who has authority to do so, and we can't talk, both of us, on what is happening in SAPS while I'm on leave. It won't be proper.
Yes, but you were the minister when a submission was made that the task team's life be extended, and there was a decision by the National Commissioner that it be extended, and that it was funded, and we've seen the amount. It was part of your evidence. The National Commissioner approved an amount of 20 million. Whereas General Sabia had also requested funding for a disbanded task team where these tasks and these dockets would now be reallocated, for example, to murder and robbery, and that motivation was rejected. Are you not aware of that?
No, I'm aware of that information, but the question was, are you aware that they are operating? And I'm saying I can't commit on that, but what evidence leader is saying, it's here. I'm aware of it.
Well, I thought it was a pretty straightforward question. It's not a trick question, whether you know that the task team is still in operation.
And I'm saying to the evidence leader, that question should be directed to the acting minister for authority and precision.
Okay, and what if I tell you it is still in operation?
Pardon?
What if I tell you it is still in operation?
I will take note. But it won't be said by me. It will be said by evidence.
So okay, what is your reaction to them still being in operation? You just take note. You're not disappointed or anything?
No, this happened in the context of work, not in the context of my personal enjoyment or personal. Let me just divert a bit and talk about border management. I happened to meet a colleague and I said, hey, at the airport, and I say, hey, how far are you on border management issues after the agreement was reached in Cape Town on the matter? He said, no, we have not moved. And then I kept quiet. I couldn't speak on behalf of the Minister of Police. But what had happened? We had resolved a problem that had been in existence for a long time, since 2018, in terms of defining the roles of PMA on one hand, of SAPS on the other, such that those roles get operationalized. That is where we were when I went to. But what is happening today, I can't say. Okay. Has that been operationalized the same as this one?
I'm asking, Minister, in the context of you giving a directive. The directive is at EB4 on page 49 and 50.
Yes.
Of Exhibit Bundle 3. In that context, I'm asking you where you have said this task team must be disestablished immediately. This is on the 31st of December 2024. and the task team has not been disestablished.
And so what's your
Not
question?
only not immediately, it hasn't been disestablished.
So
And you
what's
want to tell me you're not aware of that?
And so what's your question?
My question was whether you're aware that the task, or rather put another way, I told you, do you know that the task team is still in existence? Or put another way, it hasn't been disestablished. And what is your reaction to that? Given that you had given a perfectly, according to you, lawful and constitutional directive that it must be disestablished.
No, I'll go back to my answer and I'll insist on it because evidence leader, you ask a question and I respond, but when you say I must choose between yes or no, it will be difficult for me because that's my terrain now to respond. And I respond in a manner that I believe in. So my response is this one, that I can't speak authoritatively and properly and precisely on whether the political killings task team is functional at the moment or not.
If you were returned into your position, reinstated, or whatever the word or term is, if you were reappointed tomorrow as Minister of Police, you'll find that the task team is still in operation. You'll find Mkwanazi is still leading the team. You'll find Kumalo is still the project leader of the team. What are you going to do about it?
The reason why we're here is exactly to deal with that. I don't know how you are going to decide on it. The reason there is a commission is precisely to deal with those questions. I don't have the outcome. And therefore, I want rather to wait until the ad hoc committee has done their work and made their determination in terms of recommendations, as I understand, in terms of the terms of reference to the National Assembly on the subject. Similarly, I would wait until the Madlanga Commission completes its work and wait for the outcome. Now, whether the national political killings task team will be there or not, I don't want to worry myself about that at this particular stage. For now, I want to worry about responding to your questions.
Yes, I'm also worried that I'm not getting a response to my question. Are you waiting for this honorable ad hoc committee and Parliament to make a decision?
Yeah, I'm saying to the best of my ability, I haven't put myself beyond these processes in whatever manner, and I want to refrain from that.
Let's look at your, does it or would it concern you that Brown Mkhotsi, whom I think you said you do know him.
What did I say?
Brown Mkhotsi.
What did I say?
I said, you must correct me that you do know him, or you know of him, Brown Mkhotsi. You're nodding yes?
Yes, I know him.
Yes, you know. Now,
yes, I know him.
Now, my question is, would it bother you that you issued your directive, it appears at 5:20 on the 31st of December 2024, is that right?
Yes.
Thank you. Because that we picked up from, I think, the affidavit of Masimola. So would it concern or bother you that at 10:38, Mkhotsi sends a WhatsApp to Kat Matlala indicating, and I quote from the WhatsApp, the task team that came to your house and arrested you has been dissolved / disbanded, exclamation mark.
10:30 on the same day.
On the same day. On January 1st, Mkhotsi informed Matlala.
On January the 1st?
Yeah.
Okay.
That he would be meeting with you and Lieutenant General Sabia. He says in a text message, "Good day, I've arranged a meeting for Sabia and the minister must have a solution.
There are two questions there. The first one is, would it concern me that Mokgotsi seems
Yeah,
to
shortly after you,
Yeah,
you
yes.
should.
It would concern me.
It would.
It would concern me because I wouldn't know how that happened. But not only when my letter found its way into his hands on the date and time, it would have concerned me if my letter found its way into any other person's hand. I would similarly worry how it happened. And therefore, the answer is straight. It would worry me. I would be very much concerned. Now, about this meeting, which is my second response, that he would arrange a meeting. It is him, apparently, who talks about that, not me. I never, and I want to repeat, I never spoke to Brown Mkhotsi in this period, particularly about the disbandment. How he got to know, how he got access to the letter, it is better explained by him. And that will be the only time that I would get to know how it happened. But about this meeting, there was no such meeting on my side. It was never communicated to me. I would know what the meeting would have been about. I never spoke to Sbia about this meeting, that there was a meeting that was imminent between me and him, that I had sent somebody, and nobody ever raised the issue of a meeting between me and Sbia after the letter of directives.
Did this letter only go to General Masemola? Did you send the letter, by the way, to General Masemola, or did you ask Kabindi to send it to your chief of staff?
After leaks to, outside ourselves, I spoke to chief of staff. Where did you send the letter yourself? And he told me he sent the letter to General Masemola, to General Mosikiti, which I had directed him to do. But he, if I remember well, he also sent to PAs of the generals. I can't remember whether he also included General Sbia on that. He can clarify the matter himself, but what I underlined, I had said, send it to General Masemola, send it to General Mosikiti, because she's the one who is in the office. But it appears that he also sent to their PAs.
We know that General Masemola wouldn't have leaked the letter.
That?
We know that General Masemola wouldn't have leaked the letter to Mkhotsi because he only heard about it through the media, I think on the 2nd of January.
In order to come to the bottom of this, it will have to be Mkhotsi himself to explain how he got hold of this, what he meant by this meeting and so on. But on my part, I wasn't expecting that he would get hold of my letter unless it had gone maybe to social media or leaked to social media, as it seems to have been the case. But it is him who must explain how he got hold. But it concerns me, and there was never any meeting that took place in any case as along those lines.
I'm not dealing with a meeting now, Minister.
Yes.
I'm dealing with the fact. It appears to be a fact that Mkhotsi got hold of the letter and conveyed that to Matlala. So it wasn't you who sent it to him. It wasn't General Masemola it could only have been either Nkabindi or one of the PAs or secretaries to one of the other generals that he copied the letter to.
Well, I really want to confine me not to any speculation, but if indeed Matlala received this letter from Mokgotsi, it would mean it happened that way. And that concerns me as well, what it was sent for, because it was never meant for Matlala or any other person that he may have sent the letter to.
In fact, it was only meant for Masimola. It wasn't even meant for Nkabinde.
It was meant for Masimula, General Masimula, and General Mosikiti in terms of my instruction.
That doesn't appear from the directive, Musikili. But you say your instructions.
Verbally, I told him send it because I knew that General Masimula is is going on leave, and he has appointed General Mosikiti to be in the office. So send the letter to General Mosikiti so that she is aware of this decision.
Now, I think most people, most reasonable people would find it quite odd and curious, almost bizarre that you send a letter of this importance on New Year's Eve.
Oh, yes.
At 5:20 and address it to a national commissioner you know is on leave. He's taken a break until the 14th of January. I think you know that. And he's not even in his office. There's an acting national commissioner in the office. And your instructions in the letter, or as you want to frame it, your directive is that this team be disestablished immediately. Clearly, physically, he can't do it because he's not in his office. He's on leave. So I want to put it to you that the issuing of this directive on New Year's Eve to a national commissioner who's on leave, it doesn't make sense. It's totally bizarre. And unless you can give us some other reason why you would have done so.
Yes. One, on the 31st of December for police, it's a working day. They work on the 31st. There's no law that...
Masimoda's not working. He's on leave.
Yes, he was on leave.
Yeah.
That is why the instruction said, send it to him. He is on leave. Send it to General Mosikidi, who is in office. That's not an offense. That's not breach of any law, because I wanted him to be aware. I was aware that he was on leave. And as far as I'm concerned, as a second reason, I sincerely and seriously wanted a situation where when we go back to work in January, we have a sense of 3 issues that have been lifted from the maze of other issues for attention, including the workshop that was spoken about and so on. I wanted us to find a way to focus on these 3 issues because I wanted a sense of achievement, something concrete that I could show to the Republic that, look, we have activated police properly and increased efficiencies on border management. 2, we want to make interventions on intelligence for reasons that I would state. And that I am making efforts within a short period when I'm there, well, short, but it was 6 months, that we want to optimize. We want to optimize in terms of resources. And this is one way. And when I indicated that let us deactivate the inspectorate. Nobody asked me why it was 3 o'clock when I did it, or why it was 10 o'clock. We did it. We discussed, we took that decision at the time that we did. So to me, 31st was neither here nor there, and was not indicative of any sinister move or anything on my side. And the immediate that you spoke about in this context, to me, it was, as I explained, that this was not an immediate in the context of a drill. That is why there was an envisage, even written down, that will meet, prepare an interim committee, an interim report, and it further said there will then be a UNESCO to discuss this matter.
But, Mr. Minister, with respect, that's not what the letter says. That there's some interim response that's required. Your letter states clearly that the team must be disestablished immediately. Now,
In the context that I've explained.
Unless there's some other meaning to this word, immediately.
Yes,
So
I've explained.
The English meaning of immediately means do it right now.
Council,
let's look at the letter.
yeah, but let me explain this, because I'm here to respond.
Yes, but I would also want to contextualize what
Okay.
I'm asking you.
Thank you.
If I get an opportunity. You write to the National Commissioner and you say, I trust this correspondent finds you well in the festive season. In the past few months, towards the end of this year, 2024, I have made observations on a number of important aspects of the SAPS and policing. For purposes of this letter, I'm focusing on 3 aspects that require very urgent attention to address some of the challenges at hand. Filling of posts in the intelligence division. All processes to fill vacant posts in the division should be altered immediately. And this also applies to posts currently vacant at head office. This should be until substantive discussions between the Minister and the National Commissioner takes place sometime early in the year. Ports of entry. It is common cause that all South African ports of entry are managed by Border Management Authority, with SAPS playing a vital role in the same space, which cannot be overemphasized. In line with this role, SAP personnel impact and efficiency should be reviewed from time to time. In terms of Section 2072, direct that you develop a new plan in this regard to the next ministry, to the next MANECO, Minister Management Executive Committee meeting later in January. And I'm skipping that part because that part the National Commissioner had no problem with. He says this is fine. It's to develop a plan, and you want to discuss it, have the plan ready. But then, in relation to the political task team, you say in 2019 a directive was made to the National Commissioner of Police following the Morani Commission report, even though not flowing directly from such, that an interministerial task team be established. Now we know that do you accept that now that you know the background, that's factually incorrect. It's not in 2019.
Yes, 2018. That was,
and it's also not following the Morani report, but it follows a political instruction from the president.
yes.
Sorry. So that line, that's factually incorrect.
Yes, that's okay. Although I do say not directly from the Morana Commission, because the Morana Commission, whatever the case, it was discussed even earlier. 2018 discussions, not the report itself. But I concede that point, that it was.
Nothing. Sure, I would do honestly.